as we jump into this, to give you an idea of how we work, we tried to simplify our playbook into 3 key categories of where our business comes from. Our sphere, open houses, and prospecting. It keeps our heads simple. Let's focus on these things. Today, we're just going to talk about the sphere, okay? And forget about the stuff on the right-hand side. From an agent production point of view, we're on the left. Sphere, open houses, prospecting. You do those 3 things, and you focus on those 3 things, you will have an amazing 2024. I promise you. I promise you. We are doing this playbook for success, and we're probably going to throw a wealth series in at the end and then come back to this. We're just going to keep doing it because it's good practice for us too, for me to practice what I'm doing anyway. We are player coaches. We're in the business. We're doing Mastering Your Sphere right now. July 10th, we are doing Mastering Open Houses, and July 24th, Mastering Prospecting. And then, of course, there's going to be all kinds of fun things right before August to keep you in the loop on what our next path is. We're not going to dive into this, and you probably can't even read all this, okay? But within each category, we try to think about, well, what is it? What are the things that helps us focus on the sphere? And I'll read this under sphere. We have auto plans. Who here is using a CRM? Who has a CRM? Okay? So it's either you go to your computer CRM, or you say, I don't have a CRM. Let me get my index cards. What's my plan? And all an auto plan is I'm going to do this stuff. This is what I'm going to do. And we make it sound complicated. It's not. Okay? We do client events. That's what we do. And at the end of this, I'll show you everything that we do. I think we're at 45 touches, 43 touches, something like
49.
that. How many?
49.
49. We do client, like we're renting out a movie theater in September. Because we plan the year out. You're in the game, and don't feel stressed, but because we don't expect you to do what we do, but we're still going to share with you what we do, so you can rip off and duplicate it if it helps you. Okay. Market reports. You could call them something different. Some of you use HomeBot. Sometimes you have that conversation with a seller or a buyer, and all you're saying is, hey, you know what? You may never move, but wouldn't it be great for your largest asset to have a baseline value so that you know what your home is worth, so that you can keep track of your net worth? They all want that. That's why they're on Zillow and Redfin, Realtor.com. That's why they're going on to, they study those HomeBot reports. We have a market report that we do automatically, but that doesn't stop you from doing it yourself. It's not that hard. Well, it is sometimes hard. I won't lie. Anyway, well series, scripts and role play. This is, I'm not even going to go. This is me selling. I'm not going to sell. So, but you have to think about how we're going to do that. And as we look at the sphere, we're going to talk about how. Can you guys see that screen okay? Do I need to turn the lights off, or are you okay with it like that?
I can see it.
Is that okay? Awesome. So, how are we going to approach the concept of your sphere of influence? People that you know, right? And just a little quick test. Who here uses an iPhone? Does everyone use an iPhone? You guys have your phones with you? Mm-hmm. Who here knows how many contacts they have on their iPhone? Pull it out. You see, look at you.
I got 7,000.
Yeah.
I just checked the other day.
You go, buddy. That's awesome.
You got Carl beat.
5,000 fake ones.
You do. I think you have me beat.
I don't know how that is. It's from, I think there's 3,000 from Gmail. I actually just checked it yesterday.
So you go to your phone, you go to contacts, okay, and there was somebody showed me one button you had to press.
Yeah, I
Which
don't
button
remember.
was
It's
it?
just easier to scroll down to the bottom.
Oh, you click on lists at the upper
Yeah.
left-hand side, okay,
Yeah, it's right at the top.
and it's right at the top. I do have you beat 8,323 contacts. Thank you very much. But how many contacts do you guys have?
Can you do that with the Samsung? Because it doesn't give me the number.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
You're one of those people.
I am one of those people.
I don't know.
Purchase iPhone
I'm teasing
and
you.
Samsung.
I'm teasing you. I don't know how to do it.
We go through it all the time with each other.
Okay. I couldn't help myself. It was fun.
It is funny. Oh, sorry. Are you Samsung?
Google.
Oh, if you do the Google on it, okay. Oh,
Just
huh.
Go to contact.
yeah, so there is my Gmail, and if I click on the
Oh.
Gmail, it tells me.
Even if like with multiple accounts.
The point of this exercise, and you can do it with a piece of paper, okay? No, it's all good. The point I'm trying to make, okay, is there's lots of math equations out there. Generally speaking, if you can have 200 net people in your database, 200. Now sometimes you say, well, I'm from Wyoming and no one lives here. I don't know anybody except my next door neighbor. That's okay, you gotta build it up, right? But you want people that are in your market. How do I get 200 people? Because if you go back to the olden days, all right, and you look at, we're not at Keller Williams, but Gary Keller wrote a great book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And in that book, he did the math way back then, and it's been proven to be true that if you have people that you have met, that you know, and you stay in touch with them and do the right thing, okay, and you say the right thing to the right people, and you say it to enough people, okay, and you do it the right way, for every 12 of those people that you're really paying attention to, you can expect 2 transactions.
Oh, wow.
Now, you go, well, that's bullshit.
Oh, wow.
I got 2,000 people and I've only sold 3 houses. What the hell? Well, I mean, this is like you're paying attention. And we're going to go through how to pay attention, how to talk to people, and how to you're really getting to know someone, and you say, how are you doing? Maybe you're calling every month, but you're not trying to sell them a house. You're checking in. How you doing? I thought about what you said the other day, and I found this great book because you were saying how you hate the fact that you can't grow artichokes here in Arizona. I mean, I'm just making this up, right? But then find a book on how to grow friggin' artichokes. And you have to be specific and careful on where you direct this type of activity. But you have to start thinking, you don't want to take advantage of family and friends. You don't want to use people, but you are an expert in your area. They always, when I call you and I say, hey, how you, well, I have to be careful with what I say to Jamie, because
He'll tell you.
he'll tell me. But if generally speaking, okay, maybe it's not me, it's someone else that is, okay, if Josh were to call you and he were to say, Jamie, how you doing? Good. And you'd have a conversation. How are you? There you go. How are you? Exactly. And Josh were to say to you, so what are you doing in your life? What's going on? And you tell him what you're doing. And after you've told him what you're doing, what are you more than likely going to say to him?
Do you have anybody that wants to buy or sell real estate?
Well, that'd be him saying that to you. But my point would be, if he's calling you as a consumer and someone asks me about what I'm doing, I tell him, well, I am, I'm a fitness model. Whatever it is, okay, I'm going to probably, out of courtesy, go to him and say, so, well, dude, what's going on with you? Hey, you're still in real estate. What's going on in the market? I mean, those are the kind of conversations normal people have that are real and not stilted. So, anyway, why do we care about this crap? Okay, the reality is, according to NAR, okay, where are the sellers? Where did they come from? Okay, they were referred by, or is a friend, neighbor, or relative. Okay, they were referred by a friend, a neighbor, or relative. Like, where'd you get your realtor, right? 41%.
Wow.
It's a big friggin' number.
That's big.
This big friggin' number. If you're in the 28 to 31 year old range, that number's even bigger, 48%. And even when you move up into these other areas that I happen to be in,
I'm
they're still.
concerned about the 76 to 96. I still don't believe 36% can remember anything.
Well, it has a standard deviation. It has to do with the sample size. It has to do with standard deviation. It has to do with who actually answered the question,
two people.
and they answered it in an intelligible manner. We're not even going to go there, Sherry. Okay? Jeez. Right? And that's the thing that I care about. The other one is used an agent previously to buy or sell a home. I mean, that's a big number too. Everything else is small. And I do open houses. It's a big part of my business, but open houses, 4%. But it's mass action. It's how you meet people, right? And it's like got a phone call. I mean, saw this person's social media page, 1%. I mean, if they don't know who you are, right? This is incredible. This is factual, and it blows my friggin' mind. And if we're in the business of making a living, maybe we should pay attention to this percentage, which is reality. Does that make sense? Okay. Lies we tell ourselves. I do this. I have a lot. Yes, sir.
You're gonna send us the slides? Present?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. we
It'll
will do that.
take, Kelly sends us the info and then we'll send them over.
So next week, you'll probably today's
Probably about the end of the week, I would say.
end of week. Yeah, we'll get absolutely we'll get you these things. And if you need more information, listen. This is a tight group. We're all in this game together. If there's something we can do to help you, we'll help you. If you ask us to do something and we're in the middle of selling a house and we may put you off a week, but if it's not in this, but if there's something we can do to help, we'll help. All right. Hey, how many times you heard it? You gotta call your people. You gotta call your sphere. Who here has religiously called their sphere every month, or at the worst case, once a quarter every year? Okay. Who has called their sphere at least once in the last year? Okay, there we go. Do you understand that emotion when you go, I don't really know what to say. I don't really want to, I don't have a real reason to call. These are people I know. These are my friends. These are people that I met in church, or I know from this other association, or it's my dentist or my doctor. I mean, I don't want to just call them. That's weird, right? I don't want to be a hassle. I don't want to hassle them. And I really can't ask friends and family for business. Do those statements resonate a little bit with you guys? No?
At one point, yeah.
Okay.
But I get really angry if my family or friends use someone else.
And that's happened to
Oh,
you?
yeah, and it hurts.
It happens to everyone. Okay, and who here has had that, either a past client, or some of you are newer in the business, but it's happened to me, and it doesn't feel good.
Well, and that's when you decide I better start calling them. And
Right,
not
because
doing
was it
this
their
way.
fault or yours?
It's always yours, because when it happens, it's because I've never reached out to them,
Or-
and it's like a timing issue. It's always.
And they don't want to bother you, and they didn't know you did this.
Yeah.
And, I didn't think you worked in Paradise Valley, and that you like to deal with those
Exactly.
expensive homes. So, right?
Send me nasty text.
I do. I don't understand why they did that. Why didn't you call me? That's what I do now. But when I first had it happen, I think I just.
Can I offer you,
thought I sucked.
because I'm more of a bullshitter than you, can I offer you a softer script?
Yes.
Okay, what I say is, hey, do you have just a minute for a phone call? Sure. I noticed that you listed the home with Johnny, okay? And you know I'm a realtor, and if you don't, it'd be a huge favor, if you don't mind, helping me understand what I could have done differently so that you might have called me, or I could have had an opportunity to talk to you about this. But on the other hand, hey, you dirtbag, why didn't you listen to me? Is effective too. And it's to the point, and it gets it
Send that
done.
Hawk 2 video.
Oh my gosh, I like it. I
Oh,
like
God.
Send that video.
Wow. All right, let's move to the next slide. All right.
Wrong call.
Sphere calls will lead to less rejection. If you call something, when you're making phone calls, when you're lead generating, okay, and you're calling a stranger, I get them every day. Hey, thanks so much, not interested. Or in your case, click. Right? So it's just you're gonna get less rejection when you call someone that knows you. Okay, you already have trust with people that are in your sphere. They already like and trust you. If they don't like and trust you and they hate you, take them out of your sphere. Okay, get rid of them. They're not good karma for you. Okay, sphere success compounds. What does that mean?
It multiplies over and over and over.
Right. You help your friend, and your friend loves and likes you. Your friend's going to talk about what a great job you did. Your friend's going to be more likely to do that Google review that is sometimes hard to get, right? Your friend is going to do that, and it compounds, and it builds, and it grows. You don't have to focus only on business, because when you're calling a sphere and you're developing a relationship, they don't want to just talk about business. You should know what's going on in their lives. I don't know. For example, what do you do for fun?
Volleyball and work.
See? But you do volleyball. I didn't know that. And so if you were in my sphere, I'd know that. And I would say, the next time I'm seeing some volleyball tournament, or if it's coming up in the in the Olympics, I'm like, dude, what do you think about this? You probably have an opinion. And maybe you're in a league. Are you in a league now? How are you doing?
Not bad.
No injuries? You're doing great? Wow. That's awesome. You're such a stud, man. That's awesome. So, there's so much to talk about, right? And that's more fun than talk. But if we have a good conversation and you end that conversation feeling good, you're going to be more likely to say, so how are you doing? What's on with you? And you're going to develop that relationship. And reciprocity feels good for everyone. Honestly, if I come over and I say, and I bring you, would you like a bottle of water? Okay. If I come and give you something, you're going to kind of want to give me something back, right? That's how it works. Okay, just so you know how our team is, I said we'd open the kimono, right? You can tell my typing is not as pretty as the other slide. Sorry about that. I don't have Sherry's talent. Okay, year to date for us, and when I looked at this, it blew my mind. I'm like, wait, I thought it was, because I would always think about, I would have a high number, like 80 something, of people I met, I knew this, or I got a referral. It was kind of lumped into that number. Okay, but 29% of the sales were actual Sphere sales year to date for us. 29% were past clients, and 29% were referrals. Now, were a lot of those referrals from past clients? Yes. Were a lot of them referrals from Sphere? Yes. Did we get referrals from other agents? Yes. Did we have referrals from collaborators and vendors? Yes. But that's a relationship number, okay? And that's 87 friggin' percent of, and that's, I sell on, we're going to do open houses. Sherry and I, we are each doing, and you guys are all welcome to join our team if you want a little bit of mass action to have an amazing fall. We're having a production challenge with our company, me, and we've already got 1,000 people signed up for this, right? 50 open houses in July and August total. And if you're really aggressive, 5,000 dials. This just makes you feel a little nauseous, doesn't it? But it's a game. It's changing up it's just what can you do to change up your life. But anyway, enough of
If
that.
that sets you off into panic, it has everyone else that signed up for it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they signed up first and they go, how am I going to do that?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's
yeah.
a
So
little.
50, so 25 a month for July, 25 in July and 25 in August.
It's only 5,000 dial days. No big deal.
And then the 5,000 dials split into two is 25.
It's 131 because I'm taking two.
If you take Saturday and Sunday off, it's like 135 a day, Monday through Friday.
And
Are
I'm
you guys
taking.
on a
It's a
speed
lot.
dialer or?
I'm taking 19 days off total in the
just
month
got
of
trained on it
August.
at 5
So
o'clock this morning.
I had to do, I have to, in the days that I'm working, I've got to do 136 dials in those days, and I'm working Saturdays, and like 6 days a week. So that's a lot of activity.
Are you just dialing around your open houses then? Is that what you're doing or are you doing different?
That's a whole separate class,
Oh.
okay? No, but to answer your question, one, I'm dialing my Sphere, I'm dialing people in my database, okay? And then I'm also going to use my auto dial, I'm going to use Mojo to do circle prospecting, expired, canceled for some others, just to crank out the volume, right?
Yeah.
So if I can do 50, 60 of people in my Sphere, then because it's a dial channel, it's something I can control. You can't always control how many conversations you have, right? But you can. But if it was a conversation, that number would have to be much lower, okay?
Yes.
So then the question is, what we hopefully, and my goal is for you guys by the end of today, and if you have an idea, what is, you gotta have a goal. If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there, right? So, oops, go back.
Oh, sorry.
All right, and how do I know if I'm? It's like some of you say, no, screw it. I don't care about the 40-something%. I am not going to do business with my Sphere. Not a problem. I see a lot of very successful teams and agents. Like for example, they're just doing Zillow business. I don't do a Zillow business, but maybe that's a valid. It's expensive, but you got to do a lot more volume. Maybe I forget it. I'm just going to be calling and dialing. I don't like people, and I'm not going to. It's not my gig. It's okay. It's okay. But so that's why you have to decide what is it you want to do and what do you hope to gain from it. And that of course gets back to business planning, which is what we do in October and September and November. But what are you trying to get out of it? You gotta have an idea, right? And how do you know if you're going to be successful, right? You don't until you get there. It all comes down to we're all in this to make some money, I think. I mean, I'm here, I love what I do, I love our industry, but it's how I make a living, it's how I pay my bills, and this is why I do this, right? So, is there anyone here that is doing it purely as a charitable organization? Thank you, Jamie, I appreciate
It
that.
feels like that sometimes.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about. One thing I forgot to ask everyone here, and I apologize I didn't ask it before. I jump on this. I like to talk. I just go and do this thing. It's important. Is there something about sphere of influence, or something that we're going to talk about today, that's really important that we cover for you? Is there anything you want to make sure that I answer for you today? I'd like to write that down and make certain that I cover that. Does anybody have anything they really want to accomplish today?
Which system to use? Like, see, I'm just getting started, so there are so many. I signed up for Constant Contact. Didn't do a whole lot, anything with it.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good point, good question.
And, I always laugh at this, but you hear that, well, which CRM is the best? What system should I use? And for those of us around, there's usually an answer that people will say to you, and does anyone know what that is?
Whatever that you're usually use.
You got it? Whatever it is, okay? And we're happy to help, okay? When I started in sales, I don't know.
Chipped it out on a tablet.
Stop it, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't far off, okay? The computers weren't going, they didn't have computers, okay? And route management, meaning if you're gonna go talk to people, you had to figure out where you're gonna do. So I had a territory as a manufacturer's rep, I had a big map I put up on the wall, and I did circles of how long, if I went to that route, how long, I had to keep a certain space. And that would be my route A, B, C. I'd number my routes, okay? And then within each route, I'd have the names of I was a retailer, so who I'd talk to, right? And then I put them on friggin' index cards. And I had a tickler file, alphabetized by account name and by route number. And then I had a calendar. There's 31 days and then all the months. And so when I would talk to someone, I would then, I'm gonna call them for next quarter, and I put them in the next month. And so I have my stack of cards to call. That's all a CRM is. That's all it is. And constant contact's fantastic. Follow-up bosses, fantastic. Sync is fantastic. We are Brivity. We love it. It's what you are going to use. Okay. All right. And if you need help figuring that out, that's a big question. Let's have a cup of coffee. Okay. I didn't realize it did.
Oh, just wait, I know.
What is? You're getting ahead of me. Okay. I was so excited. I couldn't even say it out loud. I was so excited. I'm sorry, guys. I get excited from the little things. What is a sphere of influence? Okay, is the question. I mean, how do you define it? Okay. And the definition is, it's rather simple. It's just a group of people that you know personally. That's what sphere of influence is, in our opinion. Okay. This one blew my mind. 85% of people don't know. Like, you ask them, hey, you have a realtor? Yeah. Hey, how do you get a hold of them? 85% can't answer the question. They don't know.
They're in the 70 through 96 age.
To me that number, that doesn't make sense, okay? But I did have to come up with a comment at that point that said, yeah, wait, that doesn't make sense, right? How can that be? It depends on how they did the sample and who they asked and what. But the reality is, let's say it's 40 or 50%, but someone says, hey, do you have a realtor? Yeah, will you use them again the next time? Absolutely. How would you get a hold of them right now? They don't know. I'll call them. Great. Where is their phone number? Is it in your phone? So I mean, that's interesting stuff, right? Now that means that we can talk about this, but nobody's doing it. Nobody's doing it. All right. The size of a successful sphere. And I talked to you about this number before. You really want to target at least 200 people. Okay? That's the ideal. Because we have all these thousands of leads. I've got 20,000 leads. I mean, really? But do they even know who you are? Not really. Especially when they say stop. Who are you? I mean, they're not in my sphere, okay? And quality does matter. So maybe you've only got 40. Maybe but your goal is to have 200. That's the magic metric. If you do that, you're gonna have a lot of volume. And you maybe have to just meet them one by one. Open houses, what have you, but don't forget, it's not as hard as you think. It has to do with asking the right question. You have to work on it every day. You got to feed it every day. You got to follow up with it on every day. It's like a baby. It's like a life. Your database for what we do is our livelihood. It is. That's the one thing that has value. And we can go do the transaction. We can go do the work. Hey, I'm great. If I just had a client, I do such great work. If I just could get that client, but the way we get that client is by having that database, doing great work, getting those referrals. And that's the business that I run. I will not lie to you, I am not a huge cold call guy. I do it because I have to, and I need to learn how to do it and do it better, but it's not my jam. So, who should we put in our sphere of influence? This is a good question. Such a fancy presentation you've put together. All right, past coworkers. Yeah, but I'm a waiter. I'm a bartender. Who cares? It was a coworker. Where have you worked before? And who do you know? Right? I don't know their phone number. I don't know where they live. I don't know their email address. Well, put their name down and look them up on. Because if you know them, put their name down, and then that's part of your daily task. Is go on social media, go where you got to do to find out their contact info. Right? Your friends. Now, some of you can't say from high school 20 years ago or 40 years ago or more, but they're your friends. I can't tell you how many times. Well, I can. It's about like 5 in the last couple of years. People from high school. I graduated in 1978, and these people from friggin' high school called me. I hadn't been in touch with them at all. They called me because they knew I was a realtor in Arizona. Okay, so, and then it was like, gosh darn it, I better maybe stay in touch with all those people, because if those people are moving from California, they probably know other people who are moving from California. It is compounding, and it has compounded. I mean, I've taken those 3 or 4 deals, and it's well over 10, I think, that we've compounded from those people. Your spouse or your partner's coworkers. You're like, wait, I really? I don't know them. Doesn't matter. You know, who do you know? Can I put them? Is it okay? Do you mind if I ask them? It's okay if I put them in my database and send them information now and again? But you probably know these people, but they're still.
How would you do it? Because Rich just retired, but we always held like the end of the year party for all the teachers and stuff. And I feel like we gave a lot. So should I have him get me like a list of all their phone numbers, and should I just start calling and be like, hey, I don't want to lose contact with you. Would you mind receiving emails? Or should I just put them on an email list and just be like, shoot out those emails?
So are you saying that you can get this list?
I already asked Rich, I said, hey, do you have everybody's information? And I think the information he has is their emails, their school emails, and I don't want those. I want like their phone numbers, but they all text now at the schools, to talk to each other. So I know he has their phone numbers.
Okay. So what I would do is take the list, okay, and then use it as a work template and get their phone number. Start with the text.
Just call, okay, and text.
Well,
okay.
they don't know you.
Just text.
I'm trying to think of what's the campaign. Let's as a group, let's do
Yeah.
this together as a mini exercise, okay? Let's say she's got a list. Let's talk about this. This is kind of a real life activity.
Yeah.
She's got a list of coworkers. You don't know these people, is that correct?
No, they're Rich's Rich's coworkers. So
Right.
my husband's coworkers.
Okay. How cooperative is Rich in helping you with your business?
Oh, it's gonna directly benefit him.
Oh, really?
Because, he, it's our money.
Oh, I thought he was going to get a speed run or something. I was like, this is a G-rated class, ma'am. I'm sorry.
That too,
Okay, I shouldn't have brought that in. Sorry. All right, so you have a list of your Rich. Okay,
Yeah.
Rich and Rich can give you a list, and he can give you a name
Mhm.
and a phone number,
Oh, yeah.
okay? All right, so what is it that let's talk about it. You don't know them, you reach out to them, it's probably not gonna go over, they're gonna maybe be, oh, you could do that. Hey, I'm Rich's wife, and I just wanted to reach out and say da-da-da-da-da. But then you're gonna instantly go into that mode, and that will work. Like when you wanna get your spouse's friends, that will absolutely work. I asked, is Rich willing to help you, okay?
Oh,
Okay, which is like,
gotcha.
dude, can I borrow your phone? Or maybe you write a script out for him
Uh-huh.
that he just copy and paste. Because how many are on there, right?
Well, yeah, right.
Because and let's
You
practice
don't
that.
reach Everybody at once, yeah.
Hey, John, it's Rich. Thank you so. It was so great seeing you at the party. And I want to make certain that I stay in touch with you. But you know what? I suck at that. But my wife's fantastic, and she's also a realtor. And I wanted to give your name and number to her so you can get her newsletters and stuff, so that you'll always know how to get a hold of us. Is that okay?
Okay,
Is that okay?
yeah.
Now, the people that say, no, I'm married to a realtor, how can you ask? I thought we've talked about this, you suck. Well, then cross them off the list, okay?
Yeah.
There's going to be people that say, yes, absolutely, okay? So then you also make a copy of, fantastic, hey, would you mind sharing with me, she wants to send out an invite so that we can have another party, and if you don't mind sharing with me, what's the best mailing address for you, and is there an email address that we can use also? I mean, you can put him, if he's willing to go to work, that's fantastic, right?
I'll have to find out.
I don't know.
I thought you meant like, just give it.
Alternatively, he gives you the list, you create your own.
Okay.
And you do the same sort of thing. Hey, I'm Rich's wife, and I realized it was so important that he stay in touch, and I really enjoyed meeting you, and I'd like to stay in touch too. Is that okay? Less is more, okay? And is it okay, right? I mean, in our CRM, freaking thing automatically says, if you don't want to receive a text from me, just hit stop. And I'm like, well, at least we're compliant, but
I don't have to do that because of the carriers.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And.
But if you're doing one-offs, you don't have to.
But if you want to be added back on, all they have to do is type in start.
Okay. And here's an idea for you. Here's a nugget for you. Okay. When did he retire?
May, just now. So this is a new thing.
Have you had a retirement party for him yet with them?
We're doing it it's gonna be with, friends and family and stuff, but not with that. Oh yeah, we did. We did the end of the school year party this year was that plus retirement. They all brought gifts for him and everything like that. So yes, we
maybe
did.
you creatively this is a subset of your database, and you create a client get together before back to school happens. Rich wants to gloat over the fact that he doesn't have to do what you do, and we're all getting together at such and such. We're throwing a happy hour, so we're having a pop-up happy hour. They become a separate subset of your database, and you have so much fun with that,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to develop relationships. But you develop 150, 20, 10, it doesn't matter. You get one transaction out of that group, it paid for your efforts.
Yeah.
But I would do a text campaign. I would softly ease into it, and then I would after I've sent the text of those people that said go to hell, I'd take them off the list. Those people that did not respond or responded yes, I would put them on a call task. I would put that task and I would call them. Hey, thanks so much. And then I'd say, I want to Rich is going to miss this, and I'm thinking about having a holiday get together once it cools down. By the way, I give away pies, or maybe you have an event that you do in the fall, all right? And you can include them in that.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Anybody have any other ideas on that?
Well, the next one's just your spouse's partners and friends.
Okay. Your kids' friends and their parents. That's a big one. That's a big one. And my kids were my number one referral partners in my database. I'd say, hey, by the way, get a free trip to Disneyland if I can get 3 referrals out of you guys. That cost me a little bit of money. I did that.
I love that.
I did that.
That is so smart.
Just make sure that it's not on the recording so ADRE doesn't come after you.
Right. I didn't even know. See, all the rules.
Block that out, Kelly.
All the rules make it so hard.
Are they all licensed realtors? One is.
That's not what I meant. They're my children. Okay, you're right. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that.
And then did you write off the trip then to Disneyland? That was a write-off.
Yeah, I'm not a tax accountant, that's the south side of my wheelhouse.
Let's not
I'd
say
have
that
to-
on tape either, right? I can't do it.
Gosh, sounds like we should meet. Would you like a cup of coffee together? All right. I was just trying to be funny, of course. All right. Your kids' teachers and school workers. I mean, if you're engaged in this, I mean, I got a lot of business out of that. And your extended family, and your neighbors, and friends and acquaintances from any social group, such as volleyball, such as an HOA or a neighborhood group. Now, when you start on this, maybe you just have their first name. Their first name lives on Sutton. Well, I don't know. I know where they live. I mean, if you know them, though, personally, write it down. Get it on the list. Right? That's how you do it. And you just move to an area, and there's a neighborhood party. You get to know people. You write it down. These are people that you know. You get to know them, and this is what we're talking. So this is the sphere business. Okay. And anyone you interact with regularly, even if that just means once every couple of months. For example, your barber, your hairstylist, your accountant, your doctor, your dentist, or your bank teller, or the guy at the sporting goods store that sells you the volleyballs. It doesn't just people that you meet. That's how it works. Okay, what not to do. Okay, it's important. Okay, don't freak out. Don't do this. Okay, assume they will always remember you. Wait, who are you? I get that. Okay, and also you assumed that they're your friend, they're your relative. They know who I am and they know what I do. I don't need to remind them of that. They forget that crap when they're in the heat of the moment and they're buying a house and their spouse says, I want to use Johnny from work. They're going to use Johnny from work. Oh, shoot, I forgot about you. She won't mind. She's too busy anyway. Fail to stay in touch. If you don't stay in touch, why is it incumbent on them to remember you, right? Don't look for new signs of buying, selling interest. You don't have to just wait to look for that to happen, right? Because then you're also not being authentic to someone that you know. If the only reason you're trying to stay in touch is like, oh, you're looking to buy or sell, so don't send spam. We're all, right, that email, I'm going to just do this email and I'm going to use constant contact and I'm going to send it to everybody in my sphere. I do it. I don't mean to, but I do it. Okay? So fail to build rapport on the phone. You gotta, I know I don't like to make phone calls. I don't like to be on the phone. I'm not a phone person. This is not, you don't have to. You can go meet them in person. But of everything that we do, face to face or flesh to flesh, one of the most productive ways to stay in touch with someone is to pick up the phone and have a voice conversation with them. It truly is. And don't focus on the wrong messaging. That's a real generic thing to say, but what is the wrong messaging? Well, it depends on what we're going at, how we're talking about it, and then sometimes it's an art form, and I've screwed that up before. I'm going to talk about this, and they're like, "What? I don't care about elephants." Right? So I'm just using that. I mean, I do. I really think they're cute, by the way, especially little baby ones. They're really cute. But all right. How to expand your sphere of influence is what we're going to talk about now. So am I talking too much? I don't want you guys to be, am I? Thank you, Jamie. What would you like to share with the group?
For an office full.
Okay, all right. Organize your list and utilize tags and intent. Does everyone now some of you don't have CRMs. Do you know what I mean when I use the word tag? Okay, when I use the word tag, think of it like, I've got a piece of paper, okay? This piece of paper is for John Smith, okay? And I've got all these pieces of paper. But I want to make sure that I've got under John Smith, okay, whether it's an Excel workbook or even a piece of paper, okay? Maybe that would be a little red dot. If I put a red dot on that file folder, it means they're in the volleyball group, okay? So I would tag it volleyball. I would tag it green for teacher contact, right? You want to be able to know so that you can separate the message. You don't want to send the teacher contacts, hey dude, I'm going to this awesome volleyball tournament down in Tempe this weekend. Are you interested? I got a couple extra tickets. And as long as you're willing to help with such and such, which whatever that is, okay? And if you're sending it to the teacher friends, they may appreciate the invite, but it may not be the right message for that group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sort of? Okay. So you want to organize your list in that way. You also want to
Okay, so
one of the things is on this, when I mentioned that, you're going to know these people, and there's going to be, and sometimes it's surprising who they end up being. You'd think it would be your, family. Sometimes it's not your family. Sometimes it's a client. I've had these, and it's like, they just love to give referrals. Well, you better change up how you communicate with them versus everybody else, and you better talk to that person more than you talk to these other people. And you better be, sending them books and notes and developing that relationship, because they're giving you a living. And that's what we call, people categorize it a million different ways. A, B, C, A's and B's, VIP, or super special, or however you want to do it. But in every grouping of people, you do want to find a way to identify somebody who is special. Okay? I think we have VIP and A's is what we do, something like that. And you want to make sure you reach out like you normally do. Just got to, and this is like, well, I don't normally reach out. Well, carve up some time, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, or if you're doing 5,000 dials, 2+ hours a day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then go out and get it done. You just have to do it. And you don't, one of this is important. Okay, I talk about these big numbers. I've made this mistake. I am going to call 30 people a day. I'm going to have 20 awesome conversations a day. And then I have 2. Then I don't feel good about myself. And then it happens, then the next day I get busy, I didn't make any phone calls. And the next day, so if you go and you make it hard for yourself, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you're so much better off saying, you know what, I'm going to have 3 great conversations a day. That's it, 3. And maybe you have, there's different, I don't want to get too into this, but there's also the idea of the 4 pockets of what you want to be prepared for every day. It's not a bad idea every week to say, what's the absolute most expensive home in the MLS today? Does anyone know?
Is it the
I don't know. I should know.
25 million?
I don't know. Isn't that interesting
Or
though?
22?
That's something to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's something to talk about. What's the cheapest house in Maricopa County right now? What is the absolute best value that you've seen? I'm just saying, those little nuggets, because this is what we do, when you don't know what to say, and they've thrown it to you, you just say, gosh, and just so you know, I was looking at today, I saw a house that was for sale for $125,000, single family dwelling. Isn't that crazy? Where was it? I don't know. I don't even know if it's out there. It makes me want to pull up the MLS right now just to see what we got. So, all right. So we keep it easy to keep it going.
well, what? Oh my goodness.
There we go.
Phew.
All right. So now we're going to talk about how we're going to stay connected to these people. Okay. It has to be personal. It has to be. If we're talking sphere now, this is not past clients and other ways of doing this, but it's got to be personal. You have to be sincere, emphatic. You gotta, and if you can't be sincere that day, then don't make any phone calls. You gotta actually you gotta actually care about who you're calling. It's important, You're gonna have to when you have that conversation, take notes. Now, we say and put it into Rippy, or put it into Follow Up Boss, or put it into, or write it on your note card, or you've got to have a system of how you're going to keep track of these people. It could be a column in Excel for notes, okay? But you got to have a way to keep track of them. And you want to make sure you review their social media accounts. I suck at this because it is so important. If they're in your sphere, you should look on their social media. And you should follow them because they'll probably do what if you follow them?
Follow you back.
Follow you back, right? And if they make a post on Instagram or on Facebook or make a comment. Don't just put the heart sign on it. Say something to them about that. They'll love this. This will make them so happy. It's not hard, but just make a goal. I'm going to do 3 of those a day. I'm going to do 1 of those a day. So however you want to figure that out. I'm looking at this and going, crap, I'm not doing that. See, that's why I'm teaching this class, to remind myself of the things that I need to do. Okay. Make them ask you about real estate. Well, that's bull. How am I supposed to do that?
Where are you living?
Oh, thank you. I live in Scottsdale. Thanks for asking. And it's funny you say that though, because I'm thinking of moving. It's great. All right, let's ask another. Who's got another question? What's another question you can ask me that would bring us back to real estate? This is fun. I'm having fun now.
About their parents, like how are your parents doing and where are they living?
Oh gosh, man, I'm so glad you asked me that. My parents have passed away. My in-laws live in Tucson, and it's driving me crazy because my wife has to go down there all the time, and it's a constant battle because I know they really want to get them up here. Okay.
Where are your kids living?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a great question. They all live here. They didn't used to, and my son just bought a house last fall. That's right. Yeah. And yes, go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
No, I was gonna say are you buying or renting?
That's a perfect question. Yeah. So that's your question. So because that's a really good question when you're having a personal conversation, you actually, and sometimes you want to know where they live, but you don't know how to ask them. That's where that invite thing. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking about doing a little get together, but I realize I don't know where to mail it to. Do you have a mailing address? And because now let me ask you a question. So if I'm in that quandary of renting, are you looking to rent or buy, right? How would you, if you know they're renting, what's a question you could ask that'll give you an idea of when their timing is? What's a question you could ask in that regard?
Have you been thinking about buying?
Exactly. Or, yes, exactly, but you could also ask them when their lease is up. Right? As a precursor to that, that gives you the timing thing. And they go, because if you know they're renting and you ask that question, they're going to give you an answer. And it's either, they're all over the board, but a lot of times it usually has to do with interest rates are crazy, it's too expensive, and it's this and it's that.
Mm-hmm.
But they've answered you, right? Which is so, gosh, would you be offended if I asked you, if I could find a way to get you that? Would that be helpful to you? So there's a way to take that question. It's a really good question. Anything else? Anybody else have any ideas of a question to ask that would bring them back to real estate? Remember I said there's another question. That's why I have those 4 pocket ideas, which I don't have handy because they thought to do it and didn't. But gosh, hey, you know what? Are you aware of the most expensive home that's in Maricopa County right now? No. Then all of a sudden you're talking about real estate and how expensive it is. Did you know what the most affordable home is? Oh my gosh, I found this amazing value on this home. Do you mind if I talk to you about it? Maybe they know somebody. Okay. Be curious. That sounds like so obvious, yeah. But if you're curious and you're in the moment, just ask questions. The more questions we ask, the more people love to talk. You ask questions, they'll tell you. That's the best conversation that you can have, and the one that person will walk away saying, oh my gosh, that's like the best lunch, that's the best whatever I've ever had. And you didn't even say a thing about you were just asking about them. Because they have finally heard. We're all so busy. Look at me, I'm up here talking at you. I should be asking you guys more questions.
We should be asking you lots.
We're all asking each other. Offer to help them. Hey, are you renting right now? Hey, are you renting right now? You are? Oh, fantastic. You know, I normally don't help renters because I don't know if you know this or not, but there's no money in it. But we love to help tenants. And it's not for the money because we like to help our friends. So if you ever need some help, I'm happy to help you with that. By the way, have you ever thought about buying? I mean, you can segue into that, right? But if there's something they bring up, hey, I know people. Do you want me to? You want some help on that? No one ever. When was the last time someone called you up and asked you how you're doing and hey, is there anything I can help you with? Jamie, have you had that conversation lately?
Nope.
And offer something of value. That's an easy one, right? It doesn't have to be something crazy. It can be, hey, I got an extra Harkins ticket. It can be, I heard about something. It can be, I've got an extra copy of such and such. It can be a million things, but something that is interesting. If they own a home, hey, you know what? I'm practicing doing my CMAs, and I would love the opportunity to do one for you. Do you mind if I do that for you? It'd really help me. Sure, if you want to. And when I do it, I'm going to give you a copy of what Zillow and Redfin say as well, and I'll pick a couple other auto valuations out of there so you can see the balance of it. But if you don't mind, I've told myself I need to really get better at that, and I'd love it if you'd let me do that for you. Okay. All right. Call your sphere once a month. How do we feel about that? If I have 200 people in my database, and I'm calling them once a month, we've fallen back to once a quarter, I'll be honest. Once a month, though, for someone I really am in touch with, is not too much. But if I had 200 people that were really maybe my top 100, let's say I had a top 100, people that I know, they care about me, they care about you, and if I have, how many working days do I have in a month? 20? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 5 calls a day.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Is that what you do?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. How's that going?
Good. Good.
Wonderful.
Really good. Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
Since 2018, probably.
So for the last 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
you've been making 5 calls a day to people that you know.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I bet you have a great business.
I do. Thanks.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, how many units did you sell last year?
Last year, probably a dozen.
Okay. And those were all from people in your sphere?
Generally, and referrals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I work strictly off of referral base, and I took some time off last year, so,
Fantastic.
yeah.
So please don't be shy,
Oh,
okay? Because
don't.
you know a lot that we're missing and glossing over. If you've been making 5 relationship calls a day to your sphere, that's fantastic. So how many people are in your database? About?
I stick to quality, so I really am at about 150,
Nice.
but.
So then, what do you do when you get more people? Do you get rid of the weakest link? Do they drop off, or how do you do that?
No, so I do a lot of like pop-bys and events and stuff like
Okay.
how you do. So
Right.
if there's others that come into the database, then those ones will just get spaced out, but they don't fall off.
Fantastic. We know what essence for the group. What CRM do you use?
I use Referral Maker.
Okay.
Which one?
Referral Maker, and they have to-dos every single day, so it's writing like personal notes, calls, things like that, and that's the math, so you can come up with like a business plan in there, how much do you want your revenue, how many deals do you want to make, and then it breaks it down, okay, this is your daily task, this is what needs to happen every day in order to hit those goals.
Right.
So,
Exactly. And you are the exception in that that's where all your business is in. And I've been there where all my business was there. I had some years that weren't so awesome, and I realized that I did go into other areas as well, because sometimes depending on where your sphere is, sometimes that you limit, you can tap out to a certain, you can get to it, but you're always gonna have a successful business, you're always gonna have a business when you do that. Congratulations, that's awesome, I love that. Okay, so there you go, from her mouth, right? It's fact, it works, every day for the last 6 years. Yeah, that's exciting, gives me goosebumps, all right.
You can do more too. I have 5 kiddos and flip houses and have a ton on my plate, so it's 12 doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a time off and
Right.
everything else. So
It seems like a lot with everything you just said.
Yeah.
Flip, if you, in addition to that, you're flipping houses, that's a whole different game.
yeah, and homeschool. I mean, there's just the list.
Are you home, how many kids do you have?
5. Yeah.
Whoa, let me sit down for a minute. And you're homeschooling all 5 of them?
4. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's
The
impressive.
5th one is in college or something now.
She
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, okay, all right. But hey, she made it college.
She's almost there.
That's right, exactly. So once again, we come back to when you're having these conversations, having the questions. What are the questions we can have? And one of the questions is obvious, like, hey, are you curious about the value of your home? Maybe not, but are you? Well, I track it on Zillow. Okay, fantastic. It's an algorithm. It tracks it. Have you seen that there's different values out there? And you can ask more questions. You can dig deeper on that. Because the more you do, okay, it gives you, that's where you have the expertise to actually give them something more valuable, right? Do you want to know what is going on in your neighborhood? Hey, are you curious about, do you ever go for a walk and wonder what the price is? I know you can pull up your Zillow app. I got an app. We all have apps. But you know what? I do that as a service. I send you these updates so you can see what's going on when it happens. Do you want to know what's going on in your neighborhood? Or you can catchphrase that in any way you want. Okay? So are you curious about what's going on in the market in general? That's a good question. And then, is it time to sell your home? Now you can ask that question a variety of different ways, and the way that it's stated right here is a little bit, you know, it's like, so do you think it's time to sell your house? But that's a question that would come up in conversation depending on what they're saying. Really thinking about this and like, well, what do you think? Do you think it's time? Like, well, what's the best time to sell? I can give you the data. I can talk about how January is the slowest month and how August, you know, things dip down, but it's different every single year. And you know what? We sell homes every single month. So you can drive yourself crazy trying to time the market. I've seen that get screwed up time and time again. So usually the best time to sell your house is when you're ready. Are you ready? Refinancing. You know, there's a lot going on out there in the market right now that is not even on our radar. People have a ton of equity. And in my soul, it's like, well, they've got a 2.75% mortgage. They're not moving. They're not doing anything. They don't need me. The data, which if our lender was in here, he could help us with this, but there is some amazing data. It's like 35 or 40% of people are tapping that equity and doing stuff with it. What are they doing? Maybe they're flipping a house. Maybe they're getting an investment property. You know, maybe they're buying a boat. I don't know. But people are using that money, and it's important to have that conversation because even though we're realtors, we really need to know what's going on in the financial world. And so, let's say you're more, like, we have Superstar over here, 5 a day, 6 years straight, disciplined like crazy, homeschools their children. I'm going to bow down to you because you're like my hero. But then I've had situations where I've done this a long time, and I haven't called them. Okay? And you'd think that with my experience, well, I could do. No, I look at them and go, oh, man. I don't want to. Hey, Todd! You can't have cookies. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm afraid. Everybody gets that. Not everybody, but I do. Because I failed. And so sometimes if I just get in my head that, you know, dude, I just wanted to call and apologize. They're usually going to say, what for? Why are you apologizing? Well, you know, I sold you this house like 3 years and I haven't been in touch. And I feel bad. That's crazy with everything that's going on. I want to do a better job of staying in touch. And I called to tell you that. and apologize. Is that okay? Generally speaking, they're gonna say, yeah, that's great. How are you? So this is a fun one. Hey, so just a question. Do you or your family, did anyone you know have any real estate related plans going on this year? That's something you can do towards the end of the year, right? You're just doing a follow-up plan. Hey, I'm putting my end of year plan together and what I'm doing. You're important to me. So I want to make sure, do you or anyone you know have any real estate related plans through the end of this year? Because I don't want to not do the right thing by you. Why not ask that? You can say it the right way, right? Oh man, you know what? I'm doing this production challenge and I hate to bug you, but I could really use your help. Do you know of anybody you think might be thinking of selling their house? I just sold my last listing. I need inventory. Do you have any tips for me? Okay. We're having a conversation, and that's always a big thing. So, would you be offended if I asked you a question real quick? I was just wondering. I mean, you can just go into a whole wide variety. But if you ask that, hey, would you? Some people don't like that. It doesn't fit their personality. Like, why would he never talks like that? But if it's, I'm kind of self-effacing, and it's like, hey, would you be offended? I'm in an open house. Hey, would you be offended if I sent you a list of all the homes right around this home that are very similar to this one that are for sale? Would that be okay? Sure. Fantastic. Oh, you didn't sign in. What was your phone number again? What was your email? So, hey, have you ever considered? I know that you would do the same for me, which is why I'm offering to make a lot of money by selling you a house. Would that be okay? I'm teasing. See, I got Jamie to smile. Jamie doesn't always smile. This is good. All right. All right. If any of your friends or family express an interest in buying and selling a home, it would be an honor to work with them. That's a little bit, You know, we have scripts and dialogues, right? We all have scripts and dialogues. And sometimes we don't use scripts. Why do we not use scripts? Why?
Doesn't sound like us.
Yeah, it's like,
authentic.
how many times you get that phone call and you're like, oh my God, you're reading this thing, right?
You're not
This
even
is-
speaking English.
Yeah, I can't even understand you. I'm going to call a friend and say, hi, I'm Carl Eisenberg, and I was calling you. I mean, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. It's just, no one, and that's what we all think when we hear the word scripts. We all have scripts. We use them every day. We've personalized them, and we've internalized them, and the way you talk to people. I have a script. Hey Jamie, dude, what are you doing? Is a script, right? That's a script. You know, I mean, things that we say is important. So if there's an idea that you've got, okay, let's say you would love to be able to, yeah. This sentence. If any of your friends or family express an interest in buying or selling a home, it would be an honor to work with them. Well, that sounds so friggin' stilted. I couldn't say that. You know what though? If I were to write that down verbatim 10 times, and I was to memorize that, but just with myself, say it in front of the mirror, take a video of myself saying that stupid stilted sentence. Okay? I know that I could actually say, you know what, I'm going to change this up. It's now a part of me, so that when we're having a real conversation, and the conversation that come up, that, dude, if you know of anyone, he goes, yeah, I don't want to bug you, this, and he's a jerk, and I say, dude, I just need you to know, if it's someone that you know, it'd be an honor for me to help them. I mean, that's that script right there. So take the concept, memorize it, internalize it, make it your own. Make it a part of, it's got to resonate. If you don't like it, don't use it. Okay? I got scripts coming out. We got a lot of scripts.
We've got 3 more scripts that we're running short. So
Oh, we are?
yeah.
Sorry.
So
I was having fun.
we apologize.
Okay, we went through the apologizing script. We've done that. Have you ever considered, and we're going to get to these slides. My challenge to you is pick one, just pick one. You're making 5 calls a day. When you're making your 5 calls a day, you've got a script. What is your script? You're calling me.
It's all printed, but it's in my head now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you're calling me, ring ring, hello,
Hi, how are you doing? This is Sherry.
Sherry. It's great. It's so good to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
How are the kids?
They're doing
How's school
fantastic.
going? How's
It's got
school?
struggling. Are you doing the homeschool thing? It's horrible. I mean, just she's got her script. She's got her script. Okay, because she's written it down. It's all done, and then that's what she does, and it's in a part of her. She can dance through it, pick this piece out, that piece out. It becomes, because you spent the time doing the work in the beginning, memorizing it, and then you can fine tune it. You hear an idea, you add it in to the mix. You put it in your quiver, right?
If I can just add, when you're taking notes, you can pick from too. So like last time you talked to them and they were working on their backyard project, you just fill that in. And you're just looking at your notes and kind of just going back.
Hey, how'd that go? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So there, this is us just taking these little statements and fleshing it out. So let's move on to, okay.
Oops. Yeah.
And then, so how much time? I am running out of time, aren't I,
Yeah.
Sherry?
Um, Yeah, but these next two are not as detailed as the phone
Okay.
calls.
So we're talking about, you've got your social media, you've got that aspect, you've got the phone work, but you also have to mail or email. You have to touch, not everyone is the same. Because even though I say make the phone call, make the phone call, make the phone call, some people don't like to talk on the phone and they want to text. Some people, I like to read things. Even though I get too many emails, I will read things that are of interest. Okay? The personal handwritten note card. When was the last time, you don't count over there, by the way, because you're doing it. Who here has received a handwritten note card from someone in the last year? You got one. Did you open it and read it?
Yeah.
Okay. You do a handwritten note card, they're going to read it. One of the ticklers and reminders is you make a phone call, write a handwritten note. It's the old Brian Buffini model. Okay? It's friggin', it's old, but it works beautifully. I have horrible handwriting, so it's painful, hard for me to write. But they still open it and read it. You know? So sorry you had to send me a note, man. Let's get together. Postcards, mailers, invitations. We love doing our invitations for our parties. Letters, birthdays and anniversaries, discounts. Okay. And so bottom line, you want to try and email your database at least twice a month. Now you can do this with the just listed, you can do it with just sold, you can do it with a market report, you can do it with an updated, there's a lot of things that you can email that's going to give you the opportunity to do that. Offer to reciprocate short and sweet, items of value. You got to plan it all out. What we're doing here is giving you ideas if you don't have them already. And you're going to get all these slides. So you can go back through and review this stuff. Okay? And then the market report, we talked about already. I'm not even going to go through that script here. Okay. Now, pop buys. Face to face. Because you got to be voice to voice or flesh to flesh. Right? Yes, you're going to do the email, the mail, but being in person, face to face, is very effective. The pop buy methodology, that comes from the Byron Buffini thing as well. And we used to do them. I think my most favorite thing, I don't remember, it was it's for our A+ clients or our VIPs, because you cannot always do everyone, right? But there's different seasonality. You can go ahead and drop.
Seal the deal.
That's right. It was saran wrap at Thanksgiving. Seal the deal. That was fun. I enjoyed that. That was fun. I don't know if you had any deals out of it, but it made me happy. Okay, and so meet for copy. Hey, let's grab lunch. You have to be careful because you're going to buy lunch for 200 people. That gets expensive, right? However, when you get your primary, maybe there's 10 important people, and you're gonna decide. You can do a client event. You can teach a class. You can teach a class. This room is free. Do something for. You got a friend who has kids and they're looking to buy a house. And they're looking to get a kiddie condo so that they don't have to rent, and you can want to teach that student how to become a manager. I'm teaching my clients that have college-age kids how they can manage the home so that their housing expense is paid for, and they also get credit so that they have an asset when they graduate. They can launch their lives. Would you be interested in that? Fine. You pull in your lender, pull in your title people, get people to help you with that. Do it for one family, for one person. Who cares? You can do that. Invite them to a nonprofit event. Go to places they hang out.
That's kind of creepy.
Well, maybe you like to go watch volleyball games, Sherry. Come on now.
Get into their iCloud and know where they are.
That's so funny. That's like the guy that went to Starbucks and had to say, come talk to me about real estate, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. Put it on his table. All right. Social media once a month. Okay? You all know how to do this and what we talked about. You get on there and you interact. I don't. I'm horrible at that. But it's not that hard. This is fantastic. Love it. Respond to them. They'll respond to you. That's how you build a social media business. Do it at least once a month. And
Oh, sorry.
scripts, we're going to send these to you. I'm skimming along here, Sherry, because I've only got another
Oh, we're
5
so
minutes.
close now.
Okay. Okay. Bottom line is, we're doing all this because we want to get an appointment. I can't get an appointment unless I have a lead. To get a lead, I have to say the right things. You gotta have your scripts. Make them yours. Make them your scripts. You gotta know. You gotta say the right thing. You gotta say it enough times. You can't just say it to one person. You gotta say it enough times, and you have to say it to enough people. That is real estate right there. That is the key. That's the key. People do it a bunch of different ways, but it all comes back down to that. Okay. You can't see this because it's too much, but I promise you, we offered what we're doing. Okay. Our A rating fans, our B fans, and we talked about how we did that, and every year we put our plan together. How are we going to stay in touch? You've got to do that. Maybe you're just going to do a 6-month plan, or maybe a 5-month plan, because I'm going to redo for 2025 in October or November so that I'm ready to go, and I can get my title person and my lender to help me with this, so I'm not cutting up all the money to spend on that. But in January, I'm going to send a letter from the heart. For me, I'm saying, hey, it's Carl, it's personalized. I sign it personally. Then I'm going to want to follow up with a phone call on that. Okay? Then so you can see that we do a monthly email newsletter. That's 12 touches, right? In January, I'm mailing a letter, I'm doing an email, I'm sending a text, and I'm calling A, B, Y, Z, and R in my database in the month of January.
In a beautiful world.
Say what?
In a beautiful world. In a beautiful world. This is the plan.
That's Sherry saying that do what Carl says, not what he does. In a beautiful world. Thank you, Sherry. Okay, I don't want to be a friggin' liar. I intend to do all this. Most of it gets done, but not all of it. I don't want to be a liar. Okay? And in February, we had an email that says, you are the heart of our business email. And then we wanted to call the CDWXNL. And then in March, we had an email that automatically went out that was about home improvements. Okay, we got all this drafted before the year started. So we just put it together.
Do you use someone to draft these emails?
We have
Like
we're place partners.
the
So we
template?
have so much data, and we have stuff and templates, so it's not as hard. We don't have to start from scratch. We can go, that sucks, let's change it to say this. But there's so much out there that if you have an idea of what you want to say, all you got to go to and say, hey, do you have any templates for this or this?
Jennifer, are you saying you're not getting our emails?
You should send them to me.
I know.
I don't
think
get
we
them.
need to add Jennifer.
Yeah, if anybody wants to be one of our
I
clients,
think your text.
I don't want to bug you, okay, but if you want to be one of our clients, we'll just put you in our database. I don't expect you to buy or sell real estate from me, but we're happy to put you in our database.
Carl said we could rip them off.
Yeah, you're
We
welcome.
can
I
rip
just
off your idea.
If you get on
He
other
told me
realtors'
to take your
newsletters,
email
I just
and
copy
send it.
stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. We R&D all the time.
Absolutely.
That's what we do.
That's what that is. It's allowed.
This was R&D from somebody, and we just took it and made it ours.
So anyway, we do these. We have a phone call schedule so that we are calling through the database. We do it by alphabet so that we know what numbers we're calling. And then each month we do something like in March we're doing home improvement email, and in April we're doing a spring cleaning email, and then we're starting we have a Derby de Mayo, which is the Kentucky Derby and Cinco de Mayo. We do a party and we have fun things. Sherry does all this.
I like that.
We spent a lot of money because a lot of people won this year.
So many people
So,
picked the right
It
one.
was supposed to cost me like $100. It cost me like $1,200, but it was fine
We
because they
had
won.
like
Right?
14 people pick the long shot. I mean,
It was amazing, but it was all good, and it was fun. Okay, And from that, you have to send the invite out, you have to send a text out, you have to make a phone call, you come to our event. You know, client events are very powerful. And then after they come, you have to thank you for coming. And you do, so you get a ton of touches just off that client event. And so, but this is where we broke it out, and this is how we're doing it. Because each,
Anything that says auto plan is already done. We did that it's running in the background. And then anything that's a client event, we put those out like about 6 weeks before the event.
right, yeah, we have so that's what we do. We have a movie event in the fall, and we do the pie giveaway. And the one text you have to be super careful with, there's 2 of them that will blow up your world, and you better make sure that it's not into your automated thing when you're on vacation. Sherry.
That's hilarious.
That was
It's
so
not
much
funny.
fun. It was the year there was no fireworks, and
Oh.
Chuck said, "No fireworks this year." That was the first one, and then the next day he goes, "What are you doing for 4th of July?" And I think Carl the first hour got like 50.
I don't care! I'm on vacation! Leave me alone!
That's
But,
hilarious.
and so, the other one that came out this spring it was forward, it was like,
How are you doing?
hey, hey, John, it's like you use the first name. John, how are you doing? I was thinking about you.
And you even get people going, "This is AI," or you get people going, "Oh gosh, Carl, I haven't heard from you forever." It's like, there's no in between.
You know,
Communication's powerful, guys, and even though it's just and so we plan this all out, we'll get you a copy of this. And then what's the next slide? Because I'm 1 minute over, Sherry.
let's talk about
So anyway, we've been talking about it. What do we want to do? Our next, we do have one in open houses on July 10th.
2 weeks from today.
And then 2 weeks after that, mastering, and prospecting. Not my
I'm not
expertise.
here July 10th. Are you guys?
We record all these.
Okay.
Hello. And so not to join, we have Kelly's got it, and then I've got it on my YouTube account as well. So,
Okay.
awesome. I did a lot of talking. Sorry. I
No,
was trying to get it more interactive. Anybody have any takeaways from today? Anything that, is there any one thing that you guys are, based upon today, that you think you might take action on?
I actually have a question. I mean, I know whoever needs to leave, I don't want to hold anyone up, but a couple situations have happened this last week. One is our car broke down and we had to take it into Pinnacle Nissan, and it was a lot of money. But the manager dude, was like,
Yeah, I got that GoFundMe thing for you on that.
Trust me, it's like, oh no, this has to happen now. It's always like that. But he's like, oh, we were talking because we had our trailer on the back of it and everything, so we had to tow our RV and everything to Pinnacle Nissan, and it was there. So the guy is like into that stuff. He used to live in New River, and that's where I live now. And he's like, oh man, I would love to move back to New River. I'm living in a condo now, I'm renting, but he's like, I can't afford the prices out there anymore. And I'm like, I mean, it's getting better, you know what I mean? So anyways, I have his business card, but it's like, how I should follow up with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should have done more then, and I feel like resentful that I didn't, but then it's like, how do I now follow up with him?
So you know of someone who said,
I don't really know him at all.
you met him, but you have his contact information.
Yes.
Call the service, you ask for the service advisor. And you just, like, you're the service advisor, okay? And it's me, so, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Carl Easenberg. I don't know if you remember me. I pulled our trailer in, we were on a trip, and we started talking about New River and all that. Do you remember that conversation?
Yes.
You do? Oh, awesome.
How could I forget an RV?
That's awesome.
Pinnacle Nissan.
I love that, yeah. So I was thinking about you, and I don't mean to overstep my bounds, but I realized that I had so much going on, I really didn't give you what I really should have. And the reality is there's so many opportunities out there, and maybe it's not right today, but I see some deals that come up in New River, and I've got relationships with some lenders and some other people, and I don't know what your answer is, but sometimes you can be surprised in what you can do. And I don't know, are you aware of what we do to make certain that our buyers get the financing at the rates that they need?
No, I'm not aware of that at all.
Then you know what? I think we should meet, if we can get 10 minutes together over a cup of coffee, I can even come in. I mean, I put deals together for my buyers, and especially for those deals, especially in New River, and we just put a deal together where we get that seller to step up and give the concessions to buy down that interest rate to make it affordable, because I'm curious, and I don't want to, I don't want to offend, but if I could find you the deal at the rate and the price that you'd like, would you like to know about that?
Absolutely.
Well, then we should meet. How about next Tuesday?
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So would you do like your homework before you make that call, like just to look and see what's out there, or?
Well, now you're being professional. Stop. man, I mean, that makes it so, I mean, you want to be on steroids? You do a little homework because you had a conversation. You find something that's interesting. Maybe it's an expired listing. Maybe it's a cancel. Maybe it's a for sale by owner. Who cares? Who's your favorite lender? Who do you work with?
You know what, actually, what's his name?
You sound like those people that don't know who their realtors are and how to get a hold of them, for goodness
No,
sakes.
there's a couple.
Okay, I'm teasing you. So let's just move on. If you
But
need, you're gonna have a favorite realtor when it'll come to you as soon as we find it.
My favorite lender.
Lender.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
Isn't
this.
this fun? This is so much fun. See, I did this on purpose to stress you out. My
No,
point
it's
is,
so good with
we all have
this,
lenders,
too.
and there's lots of other lenders out there, but you found a widget. Find the widget that you think's about right, and you probably have a sense, and if you said that, because maybe in that conversation you go, I know, isn't it crazy? But it's funny, some of these fun, amazing deals that are out there. What price are you trying to stay under?
Right.
What price, is it all about the payment? Is it all about the payment?
It is always.
I agree. What payment are
Especially
you
when
trying to
you're
stay under?
renting.
Because sometimes I see deals that are out there. Like sometimes you have to do a 1-2 punch.
Well, I think people think that, their rent right now is lower than what it's gonna be on a mortgage.
And that is oftentimes true, but like we have an app that we use because oftentimes people don't look at, if it's a $500,000 home, okay, what's the average appreciation that we've had in all of Maricopa County in the last year?
15. Well, the last year?
In the last year,
What was
median.
it, like 10 to 12 or
No, I
something?
think it's small. I think it's like
Oh,
3 or
really?
4%,
I didn't know
2%,
that.
depends
I
on what
don't
part of
know
the.
where
But what is it in New River? What is it? Do it.
For
I can help. I've got Cromford if you need the data. So let's just say, for conversation's sake, that it's 3%.
Yeah.
Okay, what's 3% of $500,000? Realtors, we know this.
15,000.
$15,000. This is bad. $15,000. That's bad too. Be bad. Let's see. Yay, look at that. $15,000, okay? That's how much that would have appreciated, correct? Okay? So married, single, depending on what your tax bracket is, right? You then do with your math, you can go do this in Flex, you can call your lender and ask for it, or you can use one of your apps from your title company or your lender, and I don't have the app with me, but I could look and figure out what was my interest expense. Can you do that for me, Jamie, real quick? That's why you picked up your phone. Oh, sorry. But let's just say that, just for conversation's sake, okay, let's just say that the interest payment that you did on that loan, which you did 20% down, you have to do some math.
Right.
You get your lender, hey, I'm making a phone call, and they can do it in seconds. You can do it in 5 minutes, okay? And if you need help, call me, I'll walk you through it. On Flex, I'll walk it through with whoever title company or lender you're with, or I'll give you my friggin' app, I don't care. And you'll just do the math, okay? And you're gonna come up with whatever that interest expense was, okay? Let's just say it was $12,000. I mean, I don't know, my math skills suck, okay? And then if you take the tax bracket, let's say it's a 30% tax bracket, okay? So that means it's gonna be $4,000, okay? Is gonna be the tax credit that they're gonna get on that house. Okay? Alright, and so bottom line is, they've got $15,000 in tax appreciation. They got $4,000, okay, in a tax write-off. You know, when they're making a mortgage payment, we forget this. When you're making a mortgage payment, you're paying down how much money you owe.
Yeah,
Okay? Let's just say, let's say it's
of course.
peanuts. Let's just say it was $3,000 in principal reduction. Okay? So there's 15, 19, $22,000.
In your pocket. That's,
So how much are you paying in rent right now?
that's great. 3,500.
3,500. So that would be 3,600 and
Right.
500. What is that? $40,000 in rent?
That's,
Is that right? Is that about right?
yeah.
Okay, but gosh, how would that feel? Okay, if that 45,000, let's just call it 42 because my math skills suck, and we brought it down to 22, minus 22,000, right? That's like, holy moly, you're cutting $1,000 a month off of that rent payment by buying a house. So be careful what you say, because it's always the right time to buy a house, no matter what the interest rates are. But you got to do the math, and it's not right for everybody. But I found this deal in New River, man, it's amazing. And I called my lender friend, and you know what? If we can get that, if I don't know what your financing is, but if we can get a credit from that seller to buy the interest rate down to 5%, oh my goodness, would you like to hear more about that?
Yeah.
Great, can I introduce you to my lender? Sorry, I get excited. Too bad.
And so it's like, these are things that, yeah. And before, I would have never had that. The last 3 years, that would have never happened because there were so many realtors out there working all the time that guy would have been scooped up.
Well,
a long time
guys,
ago.
whenever there's change, and there's change going on right
You know
now,
what I'm saying?
opportunity. There's such opportunity in this market. This next 3 months, I think is, guys, you're 3 inches from gold, in my opinion.
And
So.
another person too, just like within this